warning, this video has offensive stuff.
It includes the word retard.
Tard.
It includes retard pee-pee, naked, flopping, rubbing pee-pee. And it also includes vomit.
And gagging.
And high impact violence. If you do not like any of these things, please click away. But if you are okay with these things,
then you fucking rock.
enjoy. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Retard Fuckers, where we try and get ourselves demonetized as fast as fuck, boy.
What the fuck? That was so fucking fast.
How are y'all doing,
I'm gonna give
everybody?
you a speeding ticket just on principle.
You can't give me a speeding ticket. I have diabetes.
I'm having a seizure.
Okay. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. You know the show. The show's name's already on names, bames, the names.
Yes, what is the show? What are we recording today?
Today we're recording the Taboo, Tater, Tots Club podcast, in case you retards can't fucking read.
Where we're talking about... Ow, that was my foot. Where we talk about anything... This is a shit show. Where we talk about anything that interests us, whether it be politics, bullshit, or just generalized gore.
No. I've had a shit day, so I'm full of angst.
So I have to be the positive one for once, which...
No, I can be positive. I can be positively not okay.
Mood.
I have Ritz.
For some reason, I at first thought that was a disease.
Ritz crackers, Ritz bits. What kind of disease would Ritz be?
the disease of being white? I don't know.
Okay. Well, how was your past couple of days, Morgan? Since we recorded last.
When did we record this last?
So today's Friday. Today's Friday. I think we last recorded Tuesday.
Yeah. Been a busy week. A lot has happened. What I can't talk about. But it's been very, very stressful. It feels nice to just sit down and relax and just talk about nothing and everything under the sun. We had a visitor today in the studio.
Yeah, it was a wasp. We couldn't get it out of here. It started like getting into the ceiling light, and my dumbass thought it was a good idea to use can of air to get it out of there. And now everything that I taste is just chemicals.
Yeah.
You want to know how my day went?
Yes, I almost went
fucking awful.
I almost went straight into the video again.
It wasn't the worst day that I could have had, but it was pretty bad. So, I first bought a cord, a mini HDMI cord to a regular HDMI, so I can hook up a really nice DSLR camera for my Magic channel, so I can push the card and it can focus. However, I did not know that there was a difference between a micro HDMI and a mini HDMI, and obviously I bought the wrong one.
There's a difference?
I guess there is. The mini HDMI looks exactly like a Android charging cable, like before they had USB-Cs. It looks exactly like that, but just a little bit bigger, I guess. And I need a micro HDMI cord, or whatever the opposite of what I just said was. I don't remember.
But did you
the propellant in the air is making me feel some kind of way.
Did you end up getting the cord that you needed, though?
No, because I looked on Walmart.com and they said they had an adapter in stock. So guess what I do? I get my happy ass in my car and drive my ass to Walmart. And when I started the car, my stereo didn't turn on. So I pulled over on the side of the road and I turned it off and turned it on again. Still didn't work. I pressed the power button on the stereo, didn't work. Punched it, didn't work. I no longer have a stereo in my car. Happy day for me. And tomorrow's my birthday, which is really fucking cool.
Have you tried yelling at it?
No, I didn't. Because I had just woken up. I had been awake for maybe less than an hour, 45 minutes at the most. And I'm like, I need to eat, but my anger shall sustain me. So I get to Walmart. I look around. They don't have it. I ask somebody, hey, do you have this? They don't have it. I'm like, okay, cool. Then you should probably update your fucking...
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. They essentially just have like an automated system just randomly choosing items that they probably might have in stock.
Mm-hmm. The local Ace Hardware had an adapter, but I'm not paying 25 fucking bucks for it. So I just bought another one on eBay. Or not eBay, Amazon. And I tried to start a return for the one that I got that didn't work. That did work, but it wasn't the right one. And I already lost the container for it, so I'm going to have to hunt for that. And then, on my way back home, there is a highway, freeway, whatever. One where you go less than 80 miles per hour. I think it's only 55. Whichever one that is. Under the bridge. Go under the bridge. There's an off-ramp for people coming from wherever, Twin Falls.
You're talking about the truck stop right there, right?
Yeah. Okay. There's a dude that gets off the off-ramp and goes to turn in front of me across the road and onto the right lane, right? And he just stops. He just stops. And I lay on my horn and I slam on my brakes and I probably get about 100 feet from ramming into his tailpipe.
Okay, hold on. He literally just stops.
Yes.
In the middle of the fucking highway.
That is what I said, yes.
Okay. I'm just making sure I understood properly.
I'm sorry, I am full of anxious. Espérate, no, it's a heart. It's fast as fuck. Mi corazón no es espérate. I'm so worked up. I'm speaking language that I don't speak. I seriously taste that propellant in my mouth really bad.
Yeah. Drinking doesn't help.
Go get my little red bag that's on the counter. I have some gum. That might help. Chewing gum. Anyway, yeah, he just stops in the middle of the fucking road. Don't know why. Slam on my brakes, send my horn. He starts going, and I get about 100 feet from slamming into me. Get back into town, where it's 25, right over there at the light in front of the old Maverick.
I don't know where the old Maverick is.
Where they're putting in the Dollar General now.
I still don't know where.
The pawn shop right before.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
Here you go, good sir. Whoop, sorry.
Ooh, floor gum. My favorite. There's a wrapper on
it. As I'm getting into town past that light, this old lady in a little Dodge Neon, she goes to turn in front of the Family Dollar, but she gets into not a turning lane, it's oncoming traffic. And I honk at her, and I'm like, you're in the wrong lane! And she turns and she's like, thank you, and then literally comes within 10 to 20 feet of getting crunched by a big old fucking fuck off pickup.
Thank you.
Like literally, as she's turning to say thank you, so I almost witnessed two different crashes. One of them would have been me in the crash.
Is it possible that he was stopping just because of the construction right there?
I think what happened was I didn't get to see the plate. So it might have been somebody from out of town or not from around here.
Or just from Twin, who's a dumbass.
And as they're coming this way, someone on this side coming wants to turn that way. So they're in the turning lane. And of course, if you're in a turning lane, you fucking stop. And they probably thought, oh, this guy's not going to stop. So he just stops. So these two cars are just stopped like this. And my lucky ass gets to be the one that's going. Admittedly, it's only 45 in that area, and I was going 55 already, so a little bit of my fault, but it was mostly that guy's fault for stopping in the middle of the fucking busy freeway, whatever.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, your speed had nothing to do with that. Did your speed make him feel like he needed to stop in the middle of the fucking highway?
No.
To clarify, it is a highway.
Highway.
We keep accidentally saying freeway.
I don't know which one it is. I don't fucking know. I don't care.
It's a highway freeway interchange.
It's just one of those days where everybody sucks.
Oh, I know what
Everybody gets fucked.
I know what I don't want it.
It's a song by Limp Bizkit.
I'm surprised.
Limp Bizkit, yeah. Yeah, but the word biscuit is spelled Bizkit, I think. Bizkit.
I want bananas on my waffles.
The lead singer of the band is a fucking nut job. So, yeah.
Oh, speaking of nut jobs, and why did I gasp for breath right there?
I don't know.
Speaking of nut jobs, tell them about the interesting phone call we got last night.
Oh.
I'll be sure to bleep.
No, I'll use a different word. So, there's a movie by a director, and this director might be a little bit racist. You might have heard of him. His name is Tarantino. I don't remember his first name. Fuck, what is his first name?
Terrence?
Terrence Tarantino. Is it Terrence? Quentin Tarantino is his name. The movie is called Pulp Fiction.
I was going to say, if I'm right, I'm going to kill myself.
No, the movie is called Pulp Fiction, and it has quite a few N-words in it. And I think literally half of the N-words in that movie are spoken by the director himself because he plays a character. In this movie, John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson play hitman. It's never really clarified, but basically, they take this dude. I don't remember where they're taking him, but John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson, I'll just say Sam and John are talking to each other as they're driving with this dude tied up in the back seat, and they're talking about like burgers and fries in different like fast food places and what they call things in other countries. And then Sam turns around in the back seat with his gun. He goes, "What do you think?" And then just accidentally pulls the trigger and blasts this dude's brain all over the fucking rear windshield. And so they take this dude over to Quentin's character's house. And they like clean up their suits. They clean up the inside of the car, and they get rid of the body. And there is a part where he says a very, very quotable thing.
And he quoted that last night. So
what happened was, I got a spam call.
I was sitting over
right here in this spot.
Yeah.
And I was sitting over there. I was playing a video game.
I was editing away and just minding my own business. And next thing you know, you just hear. And
at first, I want to be cordial so they don't hang up the phone right away. They're like, "Yes, hello, is this Nicolas? Is this, hi, I'm calling about your 2010 Jeep Liberty." And first of all, it's not a 2010, and it's not a Liberty. So right there, yeah, spam, of course.
It's a 2010 Jeep communism.
Yeah, sure.
Instead of Liberty.
And she's like, "How are you liking this car, Nicolas?" And I'm like, first of all, before we get started, I need to ask you a question. She goes, "Yes." I said, "When you called my name, did you see a sign over my name and number that says dead brother storage. I use the actual word, but for YouTube's sake, we'll say brother.
But so, we all know what he said.
Like, did you see a sign over my name and number that said dead brother storage? And she goes, excuse me? Because I used the actual word. And I said, I said, when you called me, did you see a sign over my name that said dead brother storage? And she genuinely, with fear in her voice, goes, no. And I said, you know why there wasn't a sign over my name that said dead brother storage? It's because storing dead brothers ain't my fucking business, man. And then I hung up.
I wish you had stayed on. I would have loved to know what she had to say next.
And I get a call from these same people at least 3 or 4 times a week. And this was just yesterday, and I haven't gotten a call from them back yet. But I would not be surprised if they never call me back.
I hope they do.
And I did that because I saw a TikTok of a woman who answered a bunch of spam phone calls with a bunch of movie quotes. And I'm like, the dead brother storage line. I'm going to do that next time I get a spam call. And I did. And I was very, very proud of myself.
It was fucking great. I was just sitting over there fucking dying. Confused as hell, admittedly.
What?
Confused as hell.
Yeah.
Admittedly. But I was dying nonetheless.
He was probably like, am I listening to a drug deal gone wrong? What the fuck is going on?
What the fuck is... Beep! Beep!
Yeah, it was...
That would make a good episode, though.
What?
Calling scam numbers.
I would have to find out how to do that specifically, because I don't...
It's easy.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure there are lists. Just fucking with spammers.
There's a subreddit dedicated strictly to that.
Hoggers.
And there's another one dedicated to scam baiting.
Hoggers.
Which both are my favorite things to do.
I would love to do that someday.
I mean, how much you want to bet my dogs are just being jackasses?
Probably. I mean...
Hey, look! Nobody's here!
Yay! Okay. So, what are we here for? You don't know, do you?
No,
I did not tell you.
Legitimately curious.
A long time ago,
I'm
in
scared.
a galaxy far, far away. No, I'm just kidding.
My dad? Did you find him?
Dead in a ditch. No. I mentioned that I wanted to do an episode of just green text stories from 4chan. That is not what we're doing today. We're doing one single green text story, but it is the best green text story. This is the story of Neal the Tard. I think I mentioned this specific story before, but today we're going to do it because tomorrow's my birthday and fuck you, we're doing it.
I wasn't gonna fucking...
I know.
Counter you.
I know.
I wasn't gonna throw my Pikachu out. I'm not gonna waste him on you.
Okay. I have no idea what that has to do with anything, but...
Because you counter a card, I think.
Okay.
I never played Pokemon, okay? I just like...
By the way, did the gum help? It helped me. I can only kind of taste chemical. So, this was posted on Imgur. I say Imgur, but I think it's Imgur.
IMGUR.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've heard it called.
Just IMGUR?
Yeah.
Oh, well... My wife says Imgur. I've always said Imgur, but whatever. Anyway, this was posted...
That sounds like a slur.
A little bit. This was posted in 2015.
Damn.
And actually, no, there is a timestamp on this. So the actual story was told in 2012.
God damn, we're going back in fucking Goku times where people were running around with spears and shit.
So this is a very long story. I think the last time I told it to a group of friends while drunk, it took me half an hour to go through it. So, since we're not drunk, it might only take us like 15-20 minutes, but it's going to be quite the story. There's going to be a lot of laughs and a lot of confusion, but we're going to get through this.
I'm already confused.
Okay, so
this is just my normal state.
Okay, so it says, okay, I'm going to tell you my own personal tard story. The story of Neal. And this is worded really weird. I don't know if you've ever actually read a green text story, or if any of you out there have actually read a green text story, but just follow along. You'll understand sooner or later. It's not that complicated.
I didn't know what green tech was until I met you. So.
Okay, so
that should answer your question.
Most of these stories are told in like a first or a second person type of perspective. So it says, be in 5th grade, be in AI class. It's like advanced shit for smart kids. The teacher decides it's a good idea for us to spend a day with the tard kids because we were ahead of schedule for the marking period. I had never seen a tard previous to this encounter, so I didn't know what to expect. Walk into Tard HQ. It seems to be a regular classroom filled with ugly-ass kids. Everybody is assigned their own personal tard to talk to. I get assigned Neal. I walk up to Tard and say, hello, I'm Phil.
Hi, Phil.
He says, hey, Phil. One fluent word. Hey, Phil. He says this whenever he is within 30 feet of me, and it becomes my only warning of the inevitable oncoming shitstorm. Sit down and see he is cutting paper. Ask him what he's making. What? The tard starts to make this screeching sound, and the only thing I can compare it to is the sound of a fucking raptor. A fat downy tard runs up to us. Stop it! Neal gets up and continues his rap tard roar directly in her face. Downy tard goes batshit, engages tard's strength, and flips the entire table over. Neal not only continues his tard roar, but moves closer to Downy child.
Downy child!
Down kid just starts screaming and tries to run for the door, forgets to open it up, and smashes into it head first. KO! Neal silences his roar, sits down, and continues cutting the paper as if nothing had happened. All of my what? Tard wranglers run in and retrieve Neal and the Downy kid. They are both sent home. And that, my friends, is the first of many stories of Neal. Just tell me if you want more.
I think I might have been Neal. Because some of that sounded like shit I did in grade school.
Are you serious?
Some of it, yeah.
Huh.
Like, when Mason, my middle brother, he is 15 now. Jesus. 16, actually. God damn. That broke me for a second. Sorry. When I found out my mom was pregnant with him, I wanted to be nice and make him baby toys.
Oh.
I used paper.
Okay.
Just a sheet of paper.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. It says, after our first faithful encounter, I hadn't seen... Done. You said that's it, motherfucker?
No, that's all I used for the baby toy.
Okay.
Baby toy. I used to run around screeching.
Yeah.
I don't remember a Downy girl running into a door or anything like that. But he compared it to a raptor. It's more of a pterodactyl.
Okay. Yeah, and I have no. This is 2012, so they might have used real names. They might have not. I don't know. But you know the meme of, you think somebody would just go on the internet and tell lies? So yeah, take everything that is said in the story with a grain of salt. But I prefer to take everything at face value because it's funnier that way. Ready?
Well, then your value is ugly. I'm sorry.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. After our first faithful encounter, I hadn't seen Neal for a while. So this story takes place about 3 months after my previous story. Be walking down the hall with friends to lunch, talking about usual 5th grade shit, Pokemon and whatnot. Hear a faint yet memorable voice. Hey, Bill. Don't answer. Pretend I heard nothing due to the events of last time. Hear the sound yet again, except this time it's directly in my ear. Hey, Bill. He had just appeared on my side. He had to be at least 30 or so feet in the other direction previously. This speed will come into play later encounters. Wave awkwardly to him, say, "Hey, Neal." He extends a big bag of Cheetos he had in his hand in my direction. Want some? No thanks, Neal. My friend, not knowing the kind of devastation Neal is capable of, reaches over and grabs one of the Cheetos out of the bag without asking. Neal looks up with pure malice. Oh fuck, not again. Approaches my friend, deliberately looking him into the eyes. Engage Raptard roar. This one was in short bursts. It appears as if he has different roars for different situations. Friend says, "What's wrong with him?" Say nothing, as I do not want to feel Neal's wrath. Friend backs away as Neal approaches, chewing the Cheeto. Neal lets out one last violent tard roar and hurls himself at my friend, knocking him over. He jams his hand into my friend's mouth and retrieves the liquidy remnants of the Cheeto while continuing his tard roar directly in his face. Stands up and eats liquidy half-eaten Cheeto after silencing his roar. Tard Wrangler comes speeding down the hallway and grabs Neal by the wrist and takes him back to Tard HQ. Waves at me. Bye, Bill. Not a single ounce of regret or any emotion other for that matter in his eyes. I wave at him in utter awe. Bye, Neal.
I like Neal.
Neal is good egg.
Neal is the shit. He don't take anybody's fucking crap.
Neal Part 3, Battle of the Tards.
Oh no.
You see, Neal mainly kept to himself. He did not like his Tard kind, but he extremely disliked one Tard named James. This is the first of their battles that I witnessed. Being 6th grade now, new AI teacher is a very avid Tard supporter. Like they're running for president. We are now going to help the Tards out once a week for the entire year. I enter the Tard HQ and see Neal in the corner. Hasn't grown an inch since last year. Turns out he will remain 5 foot for his entire life. He looks as if he is in total concentration reading a book. I walk up to Neal. Hey, bud, what you reading? Gives me one of those toothy Tard grins. Hey, Bill. Sit next to him and look at the book. Dr. Seuss, A Cat in the Hat. A skinny, tall Tard walks over towards us. I could tell he was a dick from the first second I saw him. What are you reading, Neal? Snatches book out of Neal's hand. 'Tis book for babies. Neal gets up. Give it back, James. James holds it up above his head. Take it. Neal's rage is apparent. It is that of 1,000 suns. Neal sounds his Raptard screech. This is slightly different from his roar. Its sole effect is to piss off other Tards. Stop it, Neal! Take back your dumb book! Too late for that, bud. Neal continues to approach with his fist above his head as far as he can reach. Screech continues. At this point, Tard HQ is compromised. Tards are going crazy. Crayons and shit being thrown. One Tard is crawled into a ball in a puddle of piss. AI class is told to evacuate. I stay to watch for imminent lulls. James is now clenching his ears for dear life. Neal is finally within striking reach of James. He throws his mighty fist down into James' nuts with the accumulative force of 1,000 banhammers. James drops and begins to throw up the magic carpet. Neal silences the screech, picks up the book James has stolen from him, and sits down to read it directly in James' puddle of throw-up. But why?
Hey, he's got to establish dominance.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that guy's little puke?
He looks up at me with that toothy grin as I just stare. Tard Wranglers burst in. One grabs me to bring me to safety. The others grab the debilitated James and Neal. Neal screams after me, "Bye, Bill." I just watch as he is hauled off to the principal's office, not giving a single bit of resistance. That day is known as End Day up until I left for the high school.
Do I want to know why it was called End Day?
Neal.
Oh.
His name is Neal. Yeah.
You're smart.
I am smarter than your average tard.
You're the king of the tards.
Yes, fear me. No, no, Neal is king of the tards.
Yeah.
Neal part 3. Being second marking period now, Neal had been suspended for pulverizing James' nuts. He's back now. I have started to look forward to our days helping the tards just because of Neal. Unfortunately, it's not that day. Being art class, teacher says we have a tard coming to our class from now on because the school has started new integration programs for tards. Neal walks through the fucking door. Class, this is Neal.
Hi, Neal.
Hello, Neal, we said in unison as I waved. Hey, Bill. Teacher lets him sit next to me because he knows me. James walks into class after him. Oh shit, brother, what the fuck? James is introduced to our class and is put at the same table as us just by luck. We are starting watercolor painting right now. Neal decides he wants to paint an apple because that's what I was painting. James starts shit with us because he's a dick. Your apples look like shit. Neal ignores him because he's fucking Neal and you don't give a fuck. James, obviously angered by being ignored by me and Neal, pours all his paint onto my painting. Don't give a fuck, but Neal sure as fuck hell did. Fuck hell? Fuck hell. Commence Raptor Roar short burst mode. This is when I found out that short bursts means he's about to wreck shit. Neal throws all his paint right into James's eye as the class looks up in horror. My eyes! James can't see shit, and Neal has not taken out Skittles. Wait, James can't see shit, and Neal has not taken out Skittles that I assume he had in his foreskin of his penis. I found out he's uncircumcised in a later incident. Oh boy. And he begins pelting James with them.
Have my dickles!
Dickles.
My
Skittles.
my...
James falls off the stool he is sitting on and brings the girl sitting next to him along too. Neal walks around the table, picks up the paint, and slowly empties it onto both James and the girl. It is not apparent that Neal does not give two shits about civilian casualties. The roar has stopped. Kids are all huddled into the corner aside from me, the two tards, and the poor girl caught in the mix. Teacher's signals for the tard wranglers waiting outside. James and Neal are picked up and taken away from the classroom. Neal is in complete and utter peace and being carried away as he simply waves at me. Bye, Bill. And that was the end of the school's integration program after the girl who got wrecked parents attempted to sue the school. Very cool.
That poor girl, though.
Yeah.
She must have been black.
This is Neal, story of the lightning raptard.
Yes!
Being 7th grade now, haven't seen Neal in over a year. He and his parents had moved to a different school district due to the previously mentioned problems with this one. Being the third marking period, it's okay, not the same without Neal though. Walking down the hall one day, lo and behold, Neal is walking into the hall at all 5 feet of him. Run up to him. Hey Neal, you coming back to the school again? Hey Bill. He now has his own personal tard wrangler at all times except for lunch, who explains everything to me. Unfortunately, I have no classes with Neal due to the whole integration system being destroyed by the wrath of Neal. I see him in the halls all the time. You see, the thing about middle school, our middle school, is that it has multiple buildings which you have to travel outside to get to. As I mentioned before, Neal possesses lightning speed, which he doesn't display very often. One day, while I am walking to wood shop with my friends, I see something blaze past me, followed by a familiar noise. The lightning raptard's mighty roar.
Marty?
50 feet behind him is the wrangler, unable to keep up with him. Everybody looks in shock as Neal plows directly through a small Asian girl carrying her books. As previously stated, Neal doesn't give two shits about civilian casualties. Neal looks behind to see how far he is from the wrangler. He silences his roar, as he can see he has won. Neal fails to see the glass door directly in front of him and plows through it just as he did the little Asian girl. Neal is out. Tard Wrangler finally catches up and picks up Neal to bring him back to Tard HQ as he comes back to consciousness. Neal sees me as he is being carried away. Hey, Bill. Neal's back, everybody.
Bill needs to be protected at all costs.
Yes.
Or not. Neal. I said Bill.
Bill. Oh, shit. I did not mean to do that. No, not the work app. There we go. Okay. Forgot about this one. Be in 6th grade still. Only a week left of school. Neal has been rather quiet lately, mainly because me and my friends now let him sit with us at lunch and whatnot because he never disrupted anything, and there was the possibility of Neal unleashing his wrath yet again. So James wasn't near with him without Tard Wrangler supervision often. AI teacher thinks that it is a wonderful idea for us to throw an end of the year party with Tards. Teacher has no idea of the sequence of events she has set forth. I swear I am dyslexic sometimes. This party is to be held 3 days before the end of school, and it is to be 80s themed. Be the day of the party. I have my hair slicked back and be. Mm-hmm.
Are they gonna beat the Tards?
I don't know.
Because it's 80s themed. Like a baseball bat.
Why would they do that?
Because that's what they did to Tards in the 80s.
No, it's not. They put them in asylums. And
okay.
Sometimes they were abused in the asylums, but...
Potato.
Get it? Potato, Tards. Okay.
Did you just say potato, Tards?
No, I said get it, because potato, Tards.
You're fat.
Somebody
needs to give Neal a baseball bat or something.
Be the day of the party. I have my hair slicked back and be in a white t-shirt because I'm lazy and unoriginal. The AI class has set up the entire thing, soda, candy, food, music, and whatnot. I talk to my friends as we wait for the Tards to enter. The Tards make their entrance into the gymnasium where this is being held. Most of the Tards look, well, retarded. Neal is dressed up as Michael Jackson. He looks fucking badass. Neal walks over to us. Everybody says hi. Hey, Bill. Neal seems to be a little bit off today, though lots of energy. Turns out Neal skipped out on his meds today. Not a very good thing.
Oh, no.
Neal is now a ticking time bomb of rap tardness. James walks over to us. I can already sense he has bad intentions. Hey, Gaybo, what's up? Neal just stares at him in a way I've never seen before. What's wrong with Niall? Neal drops his soda on the ground. Dun, dun, dun. Oh shit, minorities. Neal walks away. Wait, what? James shouts after him. You're gonna cry, Gaybo? Neal walks behind one of the curtains in the gymnasium. Nothing can be seen in the darkness over there. A minute later, Neal appears all the way across the gym on top of the stage we had in there. He is completely naked, underwear and all, aside from the single glove that Michael wears. Engage Rat Tard Screech, the Tard Rage Invoker, the Tard's Frenzy. The downy Tard from my original story kicks over the stereo. Kids just want to have fun. It continuously plays that single part of the song. There are no Wranglers around to subdue the Tards. The rage ensues. Neal jumps off the stage and charges James. James is tackled to the ground by the naked Neal. Get off me, Gaybo! Neal proceeds to rub his chode-like uncircumcised penis all over James's neck and chest. The roar has stopped. Who's the gay boy now, James? Oh god, this sight was amazing. The Tards run out of the gymnasium crying and screaming now that they can think straight since the screech has ended. The only people left in the gymnasium are me, the teacher, and my friends looking at Neal wipe his phallus on James' face. Neal gets up off of James. His deed has been done. He proceeds to get dressed again. Just as he finishes, the Tard Wranglers finally arrive. Too late, bros. The teacher retells the things that had ensued as they walk over to carry Neal and James out. Neal walks up to me and hands me a quarter for no apparent reason. As he is being carried away, Neal looks just to be as peaceful as he always is because he did not give a single fuck. He never did. He never will. Neal waves as they exit through the double doors and screams, "Bye, Bill!" I wave back at Neal. as it is the last time I will see him for over a year. And I scream, "Bye, Neal." I still have that quarter to this day. I keep it as a memento. Another one. Being the last marking period of 7th grade, Neal has been quiet for a while now because the principal claims that he will not deal with the same stuff the grade school did. Neal don't give a fuck, but he is inactive for a while. My classes no longer have a tart day, so I don't get to see Neal as often. To my luck, my lunch is moved to the same period as all the tards. Neal starts sitting with us again, and the blessings of his tard wrangler. With the blessings of the tard wrangler. Everything going fine, and then I see somebody walking over to us that look familiar. Oh shit, motherfucker. It is James in all of his dickishness. He has started to grow a pedophile-esque mustache. Tard got held back in tard classes. He's a foot behind Neal, just breathing. Why you guys let Gabo like Neal sit with you? I calmly tell him to go away as I don't want to start any trouble. I stay if I want. Proceed to ignore him. Frustrated by nobody giving a fuck about him, he pushes Neal out of his seat and sits in it. Hey James, that's not very nice. Let Neal sit down again. No, now it's Gabo. Neal has had enough of this shit. Commence the Reptard screech. The new lot of tards have yet to feel the wrath of Neal's screech rattle through their brains, making them ultra sensitive. Tards all rage. Food is thrown. It happened to be hot dog day. Tiny meat penis replicas are flying everywhere.
That is so fitting.
Neal picks up a hot dog and starts smacking him in the chest and neck with it, while simultaneously screeching directly into James' eardrum. Kinda reminded me of Neal rubbing his dick on James' chest. The Wranglers are almost done restraining the raging tards and are about to move on to Neal and James. Neal sees this and goes for the finisher. He raises his hand just as he did in the first clash of the tards. Falcon punch charging. Just as the last of the raging tards is restrained, Neal hits James nuts as if he's trying to kill all of the little James that ever were and ever will be stored up in there. James faints out of the pain. Neal silences his screech, sits down and eats the hot dog that he just rubbed all over James. The Tard Wranglers finally come and carry them both off to HQ as the cafeteria watches in awe. Neal looks as if nothing is wrong, simply waves at me and utters the familiar slur of words. Bye, Bill. Neal 2, James 0. He says, by the way, you guys, I still have 5 years of stories to go through, plus tons I skipped because I just wanted to give you guys the best of the best. So if this all happens to 404, I will just make another thread tomorrow, yada, 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 other stuff. Neal and the new special ed teacher.
Oh, no.
Being 8th grade now, first marking period, old special ed teacher quit for personal reasons. I personally think she couldn't handle the wrath of Neal. This year, there are a special class you can take if you are interested in using a period of your day to help the tards. Obviously, I signed up in order to be with Neal so I could make sure I see if any more hilarity ensues. I walk into Tard HQ that day, and there is a new teacher. She's young, seems to really enjoy what she's doing. Everything looks as if it has been going well for the day.
Yeah, she's not going to be enjoying it for long.
No. Her day is about to take a very unexpected turn for the worse. I am sitting down on the carpet with Neal helping him read a book on Dr. Seuss. This kid really fucking loves his Dr. Seuss. Neal has to have autism or something.
Oh,
definitely.
I'm going to say autism. Everything sounds very autism-esque.
Sounds very tismy. Neal doesn't understand what half the words mean, so I do my best to help him by explaining the meanings. We came across a word that neither of us knew. Neal thinks that I'm only not telling him because I want him to figure it out himself, which I did sometimes just because I felt it was better for him than me just telling him. Neal is starting to get very frustrated, and for the first time, it is directed at me and not somebody else. Oh God, please help me, dear Lord. I do my best to calm him down, but he is stuck on the thought that I know what it means. Neal engages in the mighty Raptard burst roar. I am going to die. It didn't matter that I was half a foot taller than him. I was scared shitless. Everybody except for the teacher knows what is about to happen. They just watch in horror as there is nothing they can do. Teacher runs over thinking that she can help. Bad fucking idea. Neal engages Raptard screech, enraging his tard brethren. James is on the floor pissing himself. The others are throwing shit at each other in the utter rage that Neal's screech invokes.
Can you blame James for pissing himself?
No. He probably has PTSD at this point.
Well, he definitely has the P.
The teacher gets hit with a stapler traveling at speeds previously unseen by man. KO. Neal now turns toward me and stops the screech momentarily to talk. Tell me what it means, Bill. In desperation, I tell him it's a bad word that nobody is supposed to say. He believes me entirely. He goes the rest of his life, as far as I know, convinced that acumen is just as bad of a word as fuck. All his anger immediately disappears. He gives me that toothy grin and simply sits back down as if I had just shared a secret with him. I sit down next to him and he whispers to me, "Don't worry, I won't tell anyone what acumen means." Okay, Neal. Tartar anglers burst through the door. One carries Neal, the other carries the new teacher to the nurse's office. As Neal is exiting Tart HQ, his toothy grin remains. Bye, Bill. She has no idea what the fuck she's getting into.
Oh, no, she doesn't.
Neal brings his pet turtle to school.
Oh, fuck no.
Being 8th grade...
Hang on. I gotta spit my gum.
Okay. I don't know how much is left, but we're going through all of it.
I'm down for all of it. As long as it's Neal.
Down.
I didn't even think about that.
Being 8th grade still in the first marking period, the new teacher thinks that it would be a wonderful idea for people to bring in things to show the class every day. To show the class every day it's a difficult student. I don't know what that means. Today it happens to be Neal's turn. What?
Hold on. Read that last sentence one more time.
The new teachers think it would be a wonderful idea for people to bring in things to show the class every day it's a different student. Oh, it's just missing a comma. Today it happens to be Neal's turn. He brings in his pet turtle, Jimmy, in to show the class. Everything seems to be going well for the show and tell. Neal is passing around his turtle for people to hold. I mean, it's a fucking turtle. What could happen, right? Seeing as nothing...
Them fuckers are mean!
They can be. Seeing as nothing that good is going on, I leave to go to the bathroom, take a piss in probably 3 minutes. I walk back to the classroom, and in utter chaos has ensued. Neal is screaming, "Jimmy! Jimmy, where are you?" While one of the tards is crying in the corner. I'm assuming Neal let loose a short screech for a second to get everyone's attention. The turtle is gone. Apparently, he was lost among all the handing him around. Did you hear me? They lost a fucking turtle.
In a classroom!
I run up to Neal, asking him what is wrong. Jimmy is gone! Okay, Neal, calm down. I'll find Jimmy. I start looking around. I search fucking everywhere. Turtle is nowhere to be found. All of a sudden, that fucker James walks in. He's got a big retarded grin in his face, and he has been gone since right after I left. Neal immediately catches on and commences the tard screech. Shit goes from chaos to pure clusterfuck in seconds. Not only is Jimmy the fucking turtle gone, now I have a raging mob of tards in a close space. I scream to James all over the noise. Where is Jimmy? My ears hurt! James is now crying and is of no use. I see a sliver of green in the back of the room in the corner of my eye. I investigate the site. It is Jimmy the fucking turtle halfway under a beanbag. He was there the entire time. I pick him up and present him to Neal, who is overcome with happiness to have Jimmy back. Jimmy! Thanks, Bill! The new teacher still isn't able to handle shit, and she is just sitting in the corner of the room. Neal's screech may have stopped, but the tard rage hasn't. A tard finds the stapler yet again, and boom, it connects with the new teacher while breaking the sound barrier out cold. Tard wranglers burst into the room and subdue the tards.
Poor teacher.
Yeah. Neal is perfectly fine, and so he is left in Tard HQ this time, but apparently it was my fault Jimmy was lost. I am dragged out by the principal who accompanied the wranglers. The last thing I see is Neal sitting there in the corner with a stupid fucking grin. Bye, Bill. I got a fucking week's detention.
For what?
letting him out of his sight, I guess. I don't know. Motherfucker can't piss. Neal and the Secret Admirer. I like how these all have little...
like titles.
Yeah. So in Neal's class, there was only one Jody. Jody was an above average height, ugly as fuck, half functioning tard who always wore these fucking berets. She was annoying as fuck. All she would ever do is make blatant lies, and she knew nobody believed her. I mean, she had to. One time she said she was related to Leonardo da Vinci, and she had some stuff autographed by him, and she's fucking Irish, but I digress. So it turns out that she secretly had a crush on Neal. I found this out in a rather frightening way, though. One day during gym was the only class that was integrated. I was cornered by Jody and her nasty fucking odor. Seriously, the girl didn't know how to use deodorant. I swear her stench could counteract Saddam's mustard gas. So she cornered me in a gym and whispered in my ear, "Pill, you're friends with Neal, right?" "Yeah, what about it?" "Do you think he might like me?" I immediately did a litter duck under and ran to the safety of my decent smelling friends. A litter duck under?
Literally ducked under the arm, I think.
Oh. Later that day, when I saw Neal, I asked him if he liked Jody. "Jody is gross. She smelled like Jimmy's pee."
Way to go, Neal.
I laughed and dropped the subject because it would obviously never happened. As I left the Tart HQ to go to my next class, I was cut off by Jody. "So what did he say, Bill?" "Sorry, he doesn't like you." "What?" "Oh shit, not again. Holy fuck." Jody runs over towards Neal at the pace of a muscular dystrophy child.
What?
She ran over with the speed of a muscular dystrophy child.
Oh, that's not good.
No. She begins screaming in some kind of high-pitched tone, almost like her own raptard roar, but nowhere near the magnitude of Neal's. Neal takes this as a challenge and unleashes the most mind-deafening raptard screech I've heard yet. Jody is cut off mid-scream. The power of Neal's is just too overwhelming. The tards go batshit instantly. It was as if World War Tard had hit Tard HQ.
World War Tard! That's what we're calling this episode.
World War Tard. That's
Yep.
good.
Yep.
Mrs. Springer is now a little better at handling the situation, but she is nowhere near capable of handling this.
Hey, at least she stuck it out. Good for her.
Yeah. This time she has the common sense to get under the desk before the stapler and her head have a collision that rivals the power of the Haiti earthquakes. I try to calm Neal down, but it is futile. The Tard Wranglers finally arrive before the Tards reach full-on Hulk mode and are able to restrain them. Neal stops his screech, seeing that the situation is no longer requires it, as Jody is subdued. The Wranglers pick him up to carry him out of Tard HQ yet again. I wave at Neal as he is carried out the door, peacefully as he does every time. Bye, Bill. Bye, Poop. Chronicles of Neal. The staplers are coming.
Oh, no.
Be in 8th grade still, be 3rd marking period. Neal and I have just been chilling for quite some time in that class. Nothing terrible has happened in a while. I start to think that I would never see the wrath of Neal again. Lol, think again. So Neal had recently got his first cell phone. His parents bought it for him so they could keep tabs on him better and whatnot. Neal loved the new phone and texted me frequently. As far as I know, I'm the only one he texted. So while we were sitting in class one day, that the teacher actually attempted to teach the Tards something. Neal sent me a text saying, "Hi, Mrs. Springer saw him and sent this message, unfortunately. Unfortunately, fuck. She made the very terrible mistake of taking Neal's shitty cell phone." Neal didn't take this too kindly. In fact, he took it terribly, as one might expect. As soon as she took it out of his hand, he let out a raptard screech so fearsome it made Miss Springer drop his phone. At this point, Neal thought she had broke his phone and went into full-on rage mode. I made no attempts to calm him down because she brought this upon herself. The Tards ran rampant. It was as if Neal was Lion Tard and he was leading an army of Tards against Miss Springer. All he needed was the blue face paint.
Tards till dawn!
The Tards commenced their attack on anything within their reach. The very same Tard as the previous both times was in reach of the stapler, and this time Mrs. Springer wasn't smart enough to hide under the desk. The Tard grabbed the stapler and hurled it with all his might. When it connected with Miss Springer, it was as if Chernobyl had happened on her head, and she's down for the count. Now that it appeared as if somebody had suffered extreme head trauma, I figured I might as well help out a little. Turns out Neal's phone was fine. The battery hitch has fallen out. I put it back in and handed it to him, and he returned to his realm of not giving a fuck about the damage he had caused. Neal just walked out the door, looking at his phone and simultaneously waving to me behind him. Bye, Bill. See ya, Neal. Don't fuck with Neal's shit.
Just don't fuck with Neal.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
It says, Clash of the Tards, Part 3. Be in 8th grade, be in 4th marking period. Shit has been far from smooth for Neal lately. As I said before, he destroyed some bitch recently and wasn't sparing a single fuck to give about it.
Wait, destroyed some bitch?
Yeah, I guess there's a story that's been omitted. I don't know. Cause of this Tard Wrangler has been paying close attention to Neal, trying to prevent him from getting into any more trouble. Well, nice try. During the period that I helped the Tards out, there was a major Tard emergency on the other side of the school. It required all Tard Wranglers. Holy shit. It required all Tard Wranglers, so Neal was left alone for the time being. As soon as the Tard Wrangler is out, someone starts walking over to us. It's James the dickhead. No doubt approaching to start shit with Neal. Neal was playing the Pac-Man free trial on his phone and could not give a shit about anything else that was going on. James is now standing directly in front of us. Hey, Bill, why are you playing? Why are you always with Niall? James, just leave us be, go read or something. But I want to see what Niall is doing. What you doing, Niall? Niall is completely focused... Neal is completely focused on the Pac-Man game and nothing else. James grows angry that Neal won't let him see what he's playing. James grabs the phone from Neal mid-game. As James looks at the phone, all you hear is womp womp womp, sounds of Pac-Man dying. Bad idea, James. Bad idea. Neal emits the Raptard screech as he stares at James with the fury of 1,000 burning midgets.
I'm using that!
With the fury of 1,000 burning midgets.
Yep.
James is now able to resist the screech to an extent, but it is futile nonetheless. His future was set the second he touched Neal's phone. Neal approaches James with very blatant, cruel intentions. When Neal is within striking range, he begins to cock back his leg as far as possible. The Tard Wrangler is now turning the handle of the door. Too late now, though. James's manhood is about to be decimated. Neal,
again!
Yeah. Neal unleashes the most powerful kick ever performed by man. When it collided with James' nuts, it was as if there was a disturbance in the force every man felt for miles. James dropped, and for the second time now, he was throwing up due to Neal's intentions and making sure his family line ends with him. The Tard Wrangler restrains Neal as fast as possible. Although it wasn't needed, Neal had stopped his screech now, and he was back to his oh-so-blissful state. As he was being yanked out of the doorway, he waves over to me. Bye, Bill! Got a text 15 minutes later. Hi, Phil. People need to learn not to fuck with Neal's shit. Oh, I think these are out of order. Okay. So, Neal versus Barb the bitch.
Oh?
Be in 8th grade still. Be in the final few months of school before summer starts. Kinda sad that I'm not gonna see Neal for a while again. Walking into Tard HQ with Neal in between periods. Walking to Tard HQ with Neal to in between periods. Okay. Neal wasn't paying much attention as usual. He was just talking and looking down at his feet as if he was mystified by how they allowed him to walk. I see Barb the bitch walking down the hallway in the corner of my eyes. Barb got this nickname because she was a huge fucking bitch, even to the tards. Makes sense. Since Neal wasn't paying attention, he walks directly into Barb and knocks her onto the ground. He quickly says sorry and motions to help her up. The bitch smacks his hand out of the way and starts to yell, "Why don't you watch where you're going?" Poor decisions. Neal takes this as an imminent threat, unleashes his short burst of roar, his only warning that he is about to slap someone's shit. Barb continues to yell, "Why are you making that sound, needle dick?" I begin to grow angry with her. "Barb, what the hell is your problem?" Neal just puts his arm in front of me like he's telling me he's got this. Neal dives for her legs and she topples over again. She struggles, but Neal has engaged rap tard strength. Resistance is futile. He gets into a full mount position on top of her and positions his head directly over hers. The roar has stopped. What? All that can be heard throughout the hall is the sound of phlegm being drawn up through someone's throat. It's Neal. He slowly lets the nastiest, greenest loogie I have ever seen drip out of his mouth and directly onto her forehead. It seeped into her forehead and then down the sides of her head. Barb proceeded to cry and gag so hard she was choking. Neal sees this as a sign that he has won and releases her from his tard strength grapple. He says, "Come, Pill," motioning me towards Tard HQ. It was as if he erased the memory from his head entirely immediately, and it was glorious.
Hey, she had it coming.
Yeah. The captcha for that post was, "Hey Barb, round," which is very fortuitous. Says, Neal breaks in the new Wrangler. Be in 8th grade. Be about halfway through the year. As I said before, Neal is the lightning raptard. He is fast as hell. Well, he put this particular asset in good use against the new Wrangler. While at lunch one day, the new Wrangler wasn't paying much attention. He greatly underestimated the power of Neal. While the dumb fuck was flirting with one of the substitute teachers, Neal slipped the fuck out to go somewhere. Tard Wrangler finally notices and asks me what happened. I don't know, it's your job to keep track of him, dumbass. He runs down the hall. I follow out of curiosity. Finally, the story and finally, story of the night's end. We go out of the main hallway. Neal is nowhere to be found, but his pants are on top of the trash can. We hear a scream come from the building we were just in. It turns out Neal had scared some of the girls walking down the hall. Neal had now been running for a good 15 minutes straight at full speed. This would be hard for anyone to maintain. Neal is finally found by the two of us. The tard guard grabs him by the wrist and pulls him toward the bathroom to put his pants back on. Neal mumbles, "I don't feel so good." Neal engages tard foo grip onto the tard guard's wrist. It is a well-known fact that tard foo grip is unbreakable. The Wrangler tries to free his wrist to no avail. Neal throws up that day's lunch we had, pizza, fries, and juice all over the Wrangler's pants and shoes. He sighs in disgust and tosses Neal into the bathroom. Neal begins his tard screech due to the excessive force used on him. Thankfully, no tards were nearby to rage. I help calm Neal down, and he tells the principal that the Wrangler hurt him. Wrangler is ultimately fired a week after this, all because he was a dumb fuck.
Good.
Neal versus the Tard Wrangler Part 2.
Just for the record, I love the term tard guard.
Tard guard is pretty good. There's only 3 more images, so this is almost over.
Oh.
Being 8th grade still, be almost at the end of the year, only a month or so left. School has decided to try tard integration again. Bad idea. Neal has now been assigned a much more seasoned tard wrangler. He has his eyes on Neal at all times. He knows his mission. Neal fucking hates him even more than the last. Just so turns out that I got Neal integrated into my woodshop class. What the fuck is my luck? Woodshop teacher is old, fat man with a large white beard who does not deal with any shit at all due to the possible dangers of his class. Understandable.
My shop teacher was old, fat, and white.
Okay.
Like white bearded. He was white in both, I guess.
Okay.
Senses, but he was a dick. I would have loved to chop his head off.
Okay. Why they let Tards into wood shop, I will never know. Tard Wrangler is only allowed to watch from outside the classroom as not to disturb the class. Be learning how to make a shelf. Requires us to use a jigsaw. Neal goes to use the jigsaw. Completely disregards all safety precautions. Wood shop teacher sees this and shits a brick. Runs over to Neal shouting, "What the hell do you think you're doing? Did you ignore everything I said? Get out of here." Neal's eyes light up with fury as the woodshop teacher showing because of the woodshop teacher's showing of aggression. Engage Raptard roar short burst mode. I prepare for shit to be wrecked. Woodshop has yet to encounter Neal and has no idea what the fuck is going on. He continues to shout aggressively. What the hell are you doing, kid? I said get out. Neal has had enough of Santa Claus's shit.
Santa Claus!
Neal tosses the hunk of wood at the old man in full force. It connects with his head with the power of 12 large hard hadron colliders. Santa is out cold. The seasoned Tard Wrangler sees this and immediately jumps into action. He runs directly at Neal and lunges for him. Too slow for the lightning Raptard, though. Neal avoids it and runs for the door. Wrangler saw this coming and locked the door after he came in. Neal begins to panic. He has never faced a Wrangler this good. Wrangler begins to corner Neal. Neal senses that his defeat is imminent. He silences his Raptard roar as the Wrangler closes in. He shouts to the Wrangler, "Acumen!" Referring to the word acumen, what he thought was a word equivalent to fuck due to previous encounter. The Wrangler picks up Neal and prepares to bring him to a Tard HQ. Neal has stopped his resistance entirely. For once, someone has bested Neal. What is happening? Neal just waves to me, utters the familiar slur of words. Bye, Pill. Can you imagine? Just...
I don't have to imagine. I've known people exactly like that.
Imagine a Neal getting cornered, and then his last battle cry is just... Floor mop!
Gesundheit!
Yeah. Monster cheese! Neal versus the Tard Wranglers, Part 3, Neal's Revenge.
Oh, well, this is gonna be good.
Nope, not yet. Okay, hold on. Being 8th grade still, about a week after the previous incident, surprisingly the school has kept the whole Tard integration thing going. Neal has had it up to his head with new Wrangler's shit. He refuses to give him even an inch of space, not even during lunch when Neal chills with me and my friends. Neal has been planning this. He had to have. Something so elaborate could not have simply just come out of thin air, even for Neal. Neal waits until lunch to unleash his wrath. Remember, all of the Tards eat lunch at the same time with the regular kids. Be eating lunch happens to be taco day. Neal, out of the blue, unleashes the most violent of his Raptard screeches I have ever heard. The fuck? Neal was unprovoked, and I was very confused as he did not let me in on his plan. Tards start to go bitch shit crazy.
Bitch shit crazy.
Yes. Meat, rice, and cheese is soaring over our heads. I duck down to avoid the carnage, but continue to watch Neal. The seasoned Tard Wrangler starts his approach to apprehend Neal. Not fucking happening. Neal fucking books it using his lightning Raptard speed all the way to the other side of the cafeteria in milliseconds. Tard Wrangler picks up speed in order to keep pace with Neal, but stops paying attention to the ground. Neal has started to remove his clothes by now. Tard Wrangler's foot hits a pile of taco meat that had been thrown by the raging Tards and does a cartoon-style slip right onto his back, now covered in taco ingredients. Neal has completed the process of undressing. He is letting his uncircumcised penis hang for everyone to see. Neal begins to charge the Tard Wrangler. The students, we're gonna have to put like a trigger warning on this episode, like
warning.
Tard pee-pee.
Tard angry.
Yes. The students look on in horror to the events unfolding before their very eyes, but they could not fathom what was going to happen next. Continuing his mighty Raptard screech, Neal dives on top of the Wrangler. Engage Tard strength. Even the full-grown Wrangler is not able to fight off Neal's immense Tard strength. Neal silences his Raptard screech and scoops up the stray taco ingredients, shoving them directly into his mouth. He chews it all into a half-disgusted puree. He's not gonna fucking do it. He positions his head directly above the Wranglers, just as he had to barb the bitch earlier that year, and regurgitates the taco spit puree into the face of the Wrangler. Neal has had his revenge. He sees no reason to continue the onslaught. He gets off the disoriented taco-covered Wrangler and gets dressed once again. The raging mob of Tards have almost all been subdued by the other Tard Wranglers. Neal is picked up by one Wrangler and dragged it toward the cafeteria exit as another tends to the seasoned Tard Wrangler's wounds. Neal is in complete harmony. He simply waves goodbye to me and shouts in my direction, "Bye, Bill!" All the while holding a very toothy grin because he knows he has broken the Super Wrangler. And there is only one more image left. Which is good because I have to pee and we're at 1:10. This is actually going longer than I thought it would be.
That's cool.
What?
That's going longer than expected?
Yeah, sort of. Ugh. So, Neal, story of the Tard Ball game.
Huh?
Tard Ball. Be in 8th grade. Be in last 2 weeks finally. Mrs. Springer has organized a baseball game for the Tards and all the kids who help them out that one period a day. Poor choices, man. B day of event. Walk up to Neal, who is sitting on home plate. You ready to play? You ready for the game, bud? Hi, Bill. Turns out Neal doesn't like baseball very much. James walks up to Neal and I before the game commences. I'm gonna kick your butt, Gabo. Neal doesn't give a fuck as usual, and I simply disregard the Tard. Disregard the Tard, that's good. All he wants to do is sit in the outfield until this shit show is over, but he has taken a liking to the batting part. Neal's turn up to the bat. Mrs. Springer is pitching underhand to all the Tards. She has obviously underestimated Neal's power despite her previous encounters. Mrs. Springer throws the ball. Neal misses his first swing. I hear James from over at second base. Hey, yeah, Gabo, you're bad. She tosses the ball a second time, and Neal misses yet again. James feels it necessary to continue taunting Neal. Told you, I'd bet you, Gabo. I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to say.
You want me to try?
No.
Okay.
Neal has had enough of his shit. Serious face. Mrs. Springer tosses the ball to Neal a third and final time. Neal hits that fucker with all of his Tard strength. It was as if the spirit of Babe Ruth had been reincarnated into a Tard. The ball blazed straight towards James at the speed of 1,000 brothers. Oh shit. Boom. The ball cracks against his skull. Sweet dreams, James. He's out fucking cold. Mrs. Springer is now having a fucking breakdown. I personally think she should be praising God that the speeding object did not come for her for once. She begins to shout at Neal. Why do you always have to cause trouble? Neal does not like being yelled at. Dumb bitch. Neal, taking the sign of aggression to heart, commences his mighty Raptard screech. The shitstorm is upon us. The Tards run rampant. They have been consumed in rage. Tards are ramming other Tards with their heads while wearing batting helmets. Others are throwing the balls at the helpers at near Mach 2 speeds due to their Tard strength. Thank God there was only one bat. Tard Wranglers jump into action. Despite being seriously under-equipped, they put up a good fight. The Tard apocalypse was going on directly in front of me, and I got front row seats. Chubby Tard from original story, who was KO'd by the door, now has on a batting helmet and can obviously not be affected by head injury. He charges Mrs. Springer with his mighty Tardnoceros stampede. Tardnoceros.
There's so many good ones.
Yeah. The mighty Tardnoceros hits Mrs. Springer with the combined tackling power of Ray Lewis and Lawrence Taylor. I don't know who that second person is. Down for the count. Neal has won his battle and ceases his Raptard screech. The Tards are almost entirely wrangled now, and the Wrangler begins to approach Neal to restrain him. Neal has no intention of putting up a fight. He is now content that he has had his revenge. As Neal is carried back to Tart HQ by the Wrangler, he waves back at me at the baseball field. Bye, Pill. See you tomorrow, Neal.
And that was the last time anyone ever heard from Neal.
Neal the Tard.
Bye, Bill. Bye, Bill.
Yeah, trigger warning, immense tard violence, and pee-pee, and vomit. I like how we're doing this afterwards. That's okay. It'll be in the title of the video. Because, I mean, yes, I understand a lot of trigger warnings are stupid.
This one is valid.
This one is valid because a lot of people don't want to hear about retard pee-pee and also vomit. The violence is kind of whatever, but...
Hang on. People don't want to hear specifically about retard pee-pee?
No.
Like, is that a legitimate thing? Or...
oh, no. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Like, is regular pee-pee okay? You know, like, where's the line? Ow. Where's the line?
I mean, you know our friend S, her daughter. I don't want her to, like... click on this one and hear about things you don't want to listen to, so I'm gonna that's what the trigger warning's for.
We'll record a trigger warning after this.
Okay.
And then I'll just throw it up and
that sounds good. But what'd you think?
I wanna meet Neal and Pill.
And Pill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I ever meet anyone named Phil, I'm gonna call them Pill.
Okay.
Because I can.
Well, do you have anything else to talk about? This can be just a really quick episode. I wanted to do an episode right before my birthday just so I can say that happy birthday to me. If you'd like to give me birthday money, the Cash App link is in the description.
Happy birthday to you. You smell like a Jew.
Okay. What do I want for my birthday? I want Spider-Man 2. I've wanted that game since it came out. And my wife does not have her stipend from college yet, so I'm very upset about that. Not very, just slightly. It's not a huge deal. But if I get any birthday money, it's going towards that. Either that or some magic cards. Probably a little bit of both, if I can swing it. But yeah, do you have anything to talk about?
It's funny because in middle school, the quote Tard HQ was the place to be.
Yeah.
To hang out during lunch. Like, literally there were fights, like full-blown fist fights.
I don't think there was any extreme violence with the tards in my schools.
Oh no, it wasn't the Tards that were fighting.
Oh.
It was the regular people who wanted to hang out in the Tard HQ.
So it was like Fight Club.
Yeah, but the only difference is we can talk about this.
Okay. Hey, you got a pop culture reference. Good for you.
I don't know where it's from, but I know the reference.
It's from a movie.
I know that.
You know what the movie was called? It was called Fight Club.
I was going to say Fight Club.
Yeah, it was literally just called Fight Club, yeah. I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Kinky.
Anyway, if you don't have anything to talk about, let's end it out here.
As I was trying to say,
oh, yes.
Like the Tard HQ was the place to be, but us Tards took precedent.
Were you in special ed class?
I was in special ed classes, yes, but I was not like full time. Does that make sense?
I take back every single time I have ever indicated or said blatantly or even came close to suggesting that Morgan was retarded. I did not know that. I actually legitimately, down in the pit of my soul, feel bad.
Don't. But no, like, I wasn't in the classes full time. Usually it was just to get help with like school stuff and shit like that. My first ever girlfriend was from the fucking Tard class. She had autism and a speech impediment.
Oh.
Other than that, she was completely normal.
You want to know?
She struggled to say her R's, which was adorable.
You want to know what I got into some really deep shit over in school?
Yeah.
So I had so much trouble with math in high school. I failed Algebra 1A 3 different times, passed it on my 4th time. And then I never passed Algebra 1B because I took that twice, and then the 3rd time I took it, I flunked out. I didn't go back. But on the 3rd time, they were like, we're just going to put you in remedial math. And I was like, what's remedial math? And they're like, well, it's a smaller class size and you get more one-on-one with your teacher and everything. I was like, wait, is that like special ed math? And they're like, no. I'm like, you're not putting me in retard math. And I actually said that like word for word with the same intensity, and they gave me pass room.
But no, it was the place to be. It was a great place to hang out, just chill, because everybody in there, for the most part, there was 1 or 2 kids that I wouldn't mind shoving into a toilet. But everybody was cool. We all had super common interests and super, I wouldn't say intelligent.
Yeah, you wouldn't, because that's not a word. It's intelligent.
I know.
Oh, you said that on purpose?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't say intelligent conversations, but they were definitely up there. You know, like normal people probably would not be able to follow. So I speak English and the language of the Tards.
English.
So I just did the Trump thing without even meaning to.
Okay. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for another episode of the Taboo Tater Tots Club podcast.
If you enjoyed, be sure to hit that like button down below. Hit subscribe. Join us next time where we
tell you to also check out the Twitter. And I think you said the Patreon?
You cut me off.
Yeah.
Be sure to join us next time where we talk about the Patreon, because that's where we have a bunch of good movie reviews.
Yeah, we've done John Wick 1, 2, and 3, and then we've also done The A-Team and The Dark Knight.
And next we're going to be doing
Talladega. Yeah, Talladega Nights. Also, check me out over on the Lizards with the Most YouTube channel, where I do Magic the Gathering stuff, pack openings and card pricing and collecting and maybe playing someday, and maybe there's going to be a giveaway over there. Who knows?
I'm going to just sum everything you just set up.
Nerd shit.
He does nerd shit over there. And it's not my cup of tea, which sucks because I'm the one that edits. But I can see the appeal for people that do enjoy that shit. So if you do enjoy that shit, go check it out. They're great. Or the videos are great.
I am great.
Nick, not so much.
I have to pee.
And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Oh boy!